Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 13822 Melrose Place here in Lake Oswego. We're located right at the front of the home here, directly in front of the garage door. We have a 4-inch ABS cleanout underneath a steel plate. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. And at the end we'll drain the line out completely in reverse direction and then scope all the way back underneath the garage floor as well. It does appear that we've got a root intrusion here in the line. When we go underwater here, you can see that root strand. Definitely appears to be one. We'll have a better look at everything on the way out when it's all drained. Unless someone actually had the clean out wide open for like a tree branch or something like that to get down the line there. I'm pretty positive we've got a root there. And it just transitioned over to 3034 PVC pipe. Appears to still be 4-inch in diameter. And we did have some standing water in and amongst that root there, so got a couple issues. Luckily, they're both in the same place, essentially. And here at 74 feet, we have reached the main lateral connection. I'm going to do locates to verify where the line terminates at, and then we'll let the line drain out completely so we can have a good look at everything. So far, it's looking like we've got a root intrusion as well as a belly. They're all isolated to about a 4 or 5 foot section of the pipe, it looks like. Alright, the line is pretty much all drained out at this point here. We've had the water turned off for close to 5 minutes now. There's a very slight trickle still coming through. I don't know if it's something slowly draining in the house or what the deal is, but we're going to go ahead and pull back here. And all that water we're seeing there so far in this PVC portion of the line is flowing. That's not standing water there. What I'm trying to figure out is just, I mean, not that it necessarily means anything, it's just how dirty that water is flowing down the line there. That might be because, I mean, potentially there could be dirt coming into the line. This is not a 100-year-old house with cast iron pipe and a bunch of sludge buildup in it, so it's kind of interesting that water is that dirty in color. But if we have a separation in the joint here that's opened up to the ground, it could actually be pulling dirt out of the ground and flowing that down the line, possibly. It looks like the standing water ends here right at the transition point. And I apologize, this is a 6-inch 3034, not 4-inch. But there's our better view of the root. And it's not going anywhere. Sometimes you'll get stuff like this that something else looks like it, but there's no way for anything else, any other plant material to get down this line. We definitely have a root that's come through there. And given how dirty the water is here, I don't know if this is just, this particular spot has caught that much junk. It looks like our flow has finally stopped here. I wanted to park here for a second and make sure we don't have water flowing through the transition joint. Anyway, either dirt's coming into the line here or it's just caused that much stuff to collect. I am going to recommend a spot repair here. The belly ends at 58 feet. The roots are pretty much right at the start. I'm going to mark this with white paint. There'll be an X at each end of the repair, and I'll mention the depth here in just a moment. All right, located and marked this here. Looks like the belly starts at about 55 feet. It's a pretty short section, 55 feet to 58 feet. We've got about an inch of standing water in the line here. On top of that, we do have a root intrusion. As far as depths go, I don't know if it's the utility box next to where I'm locating. This is up at the front of the driveway, maybe 4 feet or so from the street edge. Right here, I'm getting the camera at depth, or line depth at 6 feet. When I push out to the end of the belly, we're closer. It gets bouncing between about 9 and 10 feet deep. In 3 feet of span there, I can tell this is not angled that hard. There's no way it's dropping 3 feet. So either call for locates or just use caution when digging. I can't tell. I'm assuming it's closer to the 6 foot depth. It might be deeper than that. So you can call for locates, though. The city may be able to indicate a different depth there. But the locate seems to be on. That's lining up with itself. So I'm not so concerned about that, just the depth there. I do recommend a spot repair to correct that. It is under the driveway, so you will have to deal with some concrete. And we're going to reel back into the clean out here, and then we'll reverse direction and scope back underneath the garage floor. At this point here, the roots haven't gotten to a size that are blocking up the line yet, although they very likely will given time to grow. That root intrusion, for all we know, could only be a few months old. It might have just intruded the line recently. What probably happened is the belly occurred, it's settled, and the joints separated or became compromised, and then the roots were able to weasel their way through. So luckily, the belly and roots are in the same spot. You'd have to repair that much pipe to begin with anyway if you were doing a repair there. So definitely get that fixed. At this time, there's still adequate flow past that point, but I would get that fixed before it turns into a problem. And we're now going back towards the home here, or I'm sorry, underneath the garage. And it looks like we just popped into an auxiliary drain there, and that's going to be the end of it. We're going up a vent now. All the pipe under the garage floor here looks good. It's draining properly. And aside from the belly there from 55 to 58 feet, the rest of the line is in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time. Again, recommend a repair to correct the root intrusion and the belly. Definitely get a rescope done afterwards to make sure it was done correctly. A lot of these issues, especially bellies, happen at the time of installation. You want to make sure everything looks good before buttoning the ground up and everything. Again, down at the end of the driveway there, just about the last, the belly ends right just about at the edge of the driveway skirt as it about meets the street. And again, call for locates to double check the depth. I'm getting 6 feet deep at the start of the belly and about 9 to 10 feet deep at the end of it. So there's a utility box straight out from where I'm locating there that might be interfering with the locator. So take the markings out there and the depths. With some caution. It might actually be deeper. It could be slightly shallower than that. When the locate bounces around that much in that short of a span, it can be due to interference.